Hey guys, all right, you already know this is part 3 of the visitation and custody problems, the common complaints that I get from my clients, both single dads and single moms, as I coach them through dealing with being a single parent and or their co-parenting relationship. So this is again the third part of a co-parenting type of video series, and we're talking about things that you need to think about when you're dating and or before you begin to have sex with someone. So go make sure that you watch part 1 and part 2 of the other videos right here on my YouTube channel. I will either provide the links below or I will link it up in one of the corners here. I don't know which one where it will be, but it's going to be in one of these here. And if you are listening to this on my podcast, then just make sure that you go back to my homepage on the podcast platform that you're listening on and go back to episode 2 and episode 1 in order to make sure that you have caught all of this amazing content. So let's go ahead and get right into part 3. All right, so part 3, here's the first point for this particular video. One of the other complaints that a lot of parents, single parents, or co-parents, or people who are in co-parenting situations, here's another major complaint, is that of one of the parents do not offer structure and don't have the child or the children on some sort of schedule whenever the children are with them. And so with that, it allows one parent to become this fun parent, and the other parent being the mean or the more bossy parent, or the one that just doesn't have fun because they're trying to create structure and a schedule of consistency in the child's lives. And so whenever you have split households and now the children have to go back and forth between two totally separate households where the rules are different and things are being run separately or differently, then that's one of the issues that you're going to have to understand, that you're going to have to accept if that other parent is not willing to get on the same program that you're on, or to find some sort of structure of their own, that at least still provides some sort of schedule for the children or the child to be on whenever they have the child in their care. So not having structure and becoming that bad or the non-fun parent, that's a reality check for a lot of parents. And whenever let's just say if you are the parent who is all about structure and making sure that the kids, have a certain bedtime, making sure that they finish work, making sure that they clean up behind themselves, making sure that, things are a little bit more balanced for your children and for your household. If you are that parent, then this is a reality check. Like if you are dating someone or, if you're sleeping with or having sex with someone who you already see that they're more of like, I don't want to say happy-go-lucky, but it's the other person that you're dating is not someone who is about rules and discipline and structure. I mean, that's the best word to use right now. If you know that person is really not about that, then think about, okay, hypothetically speaking, if we were to have a child together and if things don't work out, then I will probably be in a situation where I'm trying to get the kids back on a routine as soon as they come back to my home, and it's just it's another job added on to being a single parent, right? Another job of having to kind of get them, whip them back into shape, so to speak, of, getting back on a good bedtime, especially if it's during the school season, having to get them back on a bedtime. Or if the other parent, let's just say if they allow the kids to just eat a bunch of junk food and, eat whatever they want whenever they want, but then you're trying to, make sure that you promote more of a healthier diet and healthier eating habits in your home. If you're that parent, these are things that you need to think of, but these are things that a lot of people do not think about whenever they're dating someone and whenever they start having sex with someone or whenever they decide to marry someone, and where kids can become part of the equation. So that's something that you want to think about, whenever you're getting to know that individual. Learn who they are and learn what type of parent they may potentially be, or what they vision themselves, the type of parent that they vision themselves of being. So, number 2, what if your ex, and this one is not funny at all, but it's like, oh, yeah, that can become really annoying. So what if your ex, the other parent, decides to keep all the clothes that you pack and send with your child? They keep all the clothes, they keep the toys, they keep their blankets, and you're sending all of these things. You have a full diaper bag and you're sending all of these things with your child to the other parent's house. But every time you get that child back, or most of the time when you get that child back, it's like, what's going on? Like, this diaper bag is empty. If it's a child that still has to carry a diaper bag, or let's just say their overnight bag, this bag is empty. Or if it, where are the diapers, to refill what I sent over there? Where are the change of underclothes and t-shirts and socks? It's just, it's a reality. There are a lot of situations where one parent will send the child with nice outfits, shoes to go with each of the outfits, or just one pair of shoes to rotate, throughout all of the outfits, however that looks, and, certain toys, or like that child's favorite toy or favorite blanket, and it doesn't get returned. And so, some of my clients, they attempt to have the conversation. They actually do bring it up. They mention it to that other parent and say, hey, like, can you make sure that you bring or return those items, whenever you drop our child off, like, because this is starting to add up. Because then that makes that current parent, it makes them have to repurchase or purchase more items at a faster rate, and it just kind of starts depleting their supply their supply of items and clothing and apparel and supplies that's needed for that child. In their home, it depletes their stash, so to speak. And now this other parent's house, all the stuff is over there. And this is a parent that's not cooperative. This is a parent that just could care less about what you have to say. And they just simply do not care. And it's like, they're also going to be that type of parent that will send the diaper bag or the overnight bag empty. No refilled diapers, no wipes. Or let's just say if the children are a little bit older, they're not going to make sure that that the child's clothes that they may have worn during their time with them, they're not going to make sure that those clothes are washed and folded nice and neat and put back in the diaper. They're going to throw the dirty clothes maybe in one of those plastic grocery bags, if that, or just throw it right back in the diaper bag or the overnight bag itself and send them back to you. Or if you are that parent, why do you do that? If you are the parent, why not just keep everything balanced? If you purchase something, keep it here. Or, if you know that you've kept an outfit that you did not purchase, then send that child in another equal outfit, to be able to replenish what may have just been left or removed or left out from the original parent's house. I don't know, just be mindful. And if you know, like, basically return your child in the same manner that you received your child. If that's at least, bathed, washed, fed, all of that type of stuff. There are a lot of parents who will send their child to the other parent's house hungry, where they have not eaten. And it's like, how can you... Don't do that to your children. Yeah, you may be trying to do it out of spite of the other parent or whatever, but don't do it to your child. Like, it's your child whose stomach is growling. It's your child the one who has to eat. And so that's just another example of things that people do not think of. When you're getting to know someone, you have to think about, okay, well, is this a petty person? Like, are they petty with things with me without even a child being involved right now? Are they petty with certain things already with it just being the two of us? If they are, chances are they're going to be petty if things go south between the two of between your relationship together. And if there's a child involved, they may show those petty tendencies as well. So think about it. The third point in this particular video that I want to talk about is, what if that other parent bad talks you to the child and almost starts to like turn that child against you, and just talks about you and things that you may have said, like things that you two as the adults may have talked about to each other, but then one of the parents decides to share or talk about those things that were said to now the child. And so it causes the child to have this internal anxiety of feeling as though they need to pick a side. And that's terrible. But guess what? If you, and I didn't say this with number 2, but again, if you do not think about that question from part 1 and part 2 video, if you do not think about that question, like, can I see myself living in the same household under one roof with this person that I have a child with or will possibly have a child with? Can I see myself living in a household with them for 18 years? Until that child is no longer a minor and has moved out and moved on, in order to try to prevent from having to deal with a lot of these common complaints of visitation and custody type of problems that people go through. Having to, oh, well, all my outfits for my child, they're over there, and all the good shoes are over there, or his or her uniforms are over here, and now I only have one for the week, and you have to deal with that because you guys decided to separate. If you don't love each other anymore, or if you have fallen out of love with each other, let me say it this way: if you are no longer in love with each other, can you live under the same roof for at least the next 18 years or however long it will take for that child to turn 18? Can you do that in order to help prevent these particular issues of co-parenting issues that I'm describing right now? Think about it. If you're like, nah, I don't know if I can, then maybe you should really think twice about becoming sexually active with that person. I mean, yeah, continue to date the person if you want to date them all day long, but we're talking about bringing a child in between you. We're talking about bringing a child into the mix. So if you don't think that you can be with that person no matter what for 18 years, or until that child is 18 and out of the house or no longer a minor, then maybe having a child with that person is not the way to go. And if that's the case, then also being sexually active with that person, maybe it's just not worth it. Is it worth it? I mean, so many times people will say, oh, it was an accident, or, we didn't plan for it, or, there was an issue with the what. Just, is it worth it? So yeah, going back to number 3, I'll just say a few more things about it. But there are some parents who will plant certain thoughts or certain ideas about the other parent in the child's ear and into the child's mind and their thoughts, to where it's almost turning that child against the other parent. And it's like, you can't control what's going on in the other household, and you have no idea of what's being said in that other household whenever you decide to separate from that parent. And so I say all of that in this 3-part series. This is the ending of the 3-part series, but I say all of this to say, be mindful of making sure that you really think about if you can withstand being with a person for 18 years before you have sex with them. Be mindful of that. And regardless, go ahead and start getting in the mindset and the mind frame of putting a child first, putting the children first, no matter what. Even if that looks odd or awkward, you have to put the children first. So if you guys are not, if you as the parent are not getting along, if one person may have said something to the other person or may have done something to the other person, or if it's, whatever it is, when it comes down to that child or your children, put them first and put everything else to the side. Yes, I know for a lot of people it is easier said than done, and that's where it will take work. That's where it will take that inner work. Here it will take work to deal with, not just cope or sweep things under the rug from your past, but you have to actually work to deal with what you have gone through, what you have experienced, what the other person may have taken you through, and what other people from your past has taken you through as well. Because if you haven't dealt with stuff from long time ago either, then it's just adding more layers to what you're dealing with and what you're going through overall. And so to go through that work, to get through the different layers of emotional issues, emotional baggage. Again, like I said before in another video, it's not just women who carry emotional baggage, it's men too who carry emotional baggage from one relationship to the next. And so in order to just kind of work through it, to get to the place of where you can say, you know what, if things don't work out with me and the guy or girl that that I have a child with, I could still do what it takes and do what's necessary to maintain one household for sake of my child. You can get to that point, but it will take work. And it will take work with someone who has the tools, who has the training, and who can introduce all of that to you, and who can show you how to use the tools to get to that point and to be able to be effective with living that type of lifestyle, if it ever got to that point. Hopefully it won't, but if it did, at least you are prepared and at least you are ready. And who are those people? Coaches, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, you name it. But for me personally, coach, a mentor. Contact a coach, contact me. It's time for me to go ahead and plug really quickly so I can end this video. Contact me. It's Coach Nrgy. I am the single parent's life coach. I have been there. I have done that. So I understand what you are going through. All of these different scenarios that I mentioned in parts 1, 2, and 3 of this series, I understand. I've experienced it, either being the parent that did it or being the parent that received it on the other end. So at some point, I experienced these same things. And this is not an exhaustive list. This is just I did 3 or 4 per video. There's so much more that goes on whenever you are co-parenting someone or co-parenting with someone. And whenever you become a single parent type of household, and whenever you separate and split the homes to where the kid is now having to live in 2 different places. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Yes, it will take work, but if you are dedicated and if you are really, really at a point to where you understand the necessity of having your child first, putting your child first over your own happiness, because the reason I keep saying that word is because a lot of people always say, oh, well, you deserve to be happy. Of course, yeah, you deserve to be happy. But however, you now brought a child into the equation. So now that child comes before you. So you have to do whatever you have to do, however that looks for you, whatever it leaves you feeling like, you have to make sure that your actions, your choices, your decisions are now in the best interest of that child versus yourself. This is something that you have to think about before you have sex and before you decide to have a child with someone. Planned or unplanned, whatever. You have to think about the overall long-term effect. So, if you are looking for a coach, a life coach that can help you through these issues or more issues, similar issues or totally different issues, make sure you contact me. Go to my website, CoachNrgy.com. That's CoachNrgy.com, and scroll to the bottom, hit the schedule appointment button, and then that's where we'll set up just that first conversation where we'll have to just get to know each other. Let's break the ice. Let's get rid of the butterflies, and let's just talk first before we actually dive into an actual plan that will be customized for you. Otherwise, if you want to get other valuable content like this right here, go ahead and go to my podcast channel. You can Google search, you can search on Google, I Give Life to Life by Coach Nrgy. But anyway, the actual name of the podcast channel or the name of my podcast is called I Give Life to Life. So if you search for that, you'll be able to pull me up on Apple, iTunes Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Otherwise, if you are a YouTuber, stay right here on this channel. You can search me on YouTube at Coach Nrgy, and you'll see all of my other videos and more content that I will upload moving forward in the future. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell so you are notified every single time that I upload a video. Other than that, I think that's it, you guys. If you want to follow me on any of my social media platforms, YouTube and my podcast, these are my prime. But otherwise, you can catch me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Hey, I have a TikTok now. Same thing on all of those channels. You can find me at Coach Nrgy. Again, Nrgy. That is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this particular series, this short series of visitation and custody problems, the common complaints and things that parents or people need to think about before they decide to bring a child into their relationship, and even before deciding to have sex with someone. Because whether planned or unplanned, pregnancies still happen. You already know what to do. Go ahead and get the conversation started below. Let me know what you think about all the information that I've shared in this video and in the other 2 videos as well. And let me know if you were affected by any of this, if you agree, if you disagree. Hey, regardless, just let me know. Share this to a friend, family member, co-worker, neighbor, you name it. Whoever can benefit from this particular message, share it with them. Pass out my information or send me their information. As long as you get their permission, I'll contact them. If you don't think that they will ever contact me, but at least get their permission first. And then let's see if we can just start helping people enjoy this thing called life at least a little bit more. All right. Hey, we got to look out for the kids, right? So anyway, this is Coach Nrgy. Thank you guys for tuning in and staying tuned throughout the end of this particular video. I am signing out. Talk soon. And as always, keep smiling. Bye-bye.